There's no negotiating with terrorists in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3. This is a pure squad-based tactical shooter. It's kill or be killed. You have to act quickly and decisively and just take the bad guys out before they see you. They can't survive many bullets, nor can you. This really is just a tense and exciting first-person shooter, and it offers a lot of value both as a single-player and as a multiplayer game. Even on the PC, the Rainbow Six series attracted its own unique audience because these games are different from other shooters. They're realistic, they're more about planning and coordination, they're not just about pure action. Actually, Rainbow Six 3 for the Xbox is the first game in the series to really be widely accessible and to do away with a lot of the more cumbersome, sort of more complicated types of features that have prevented the previous games from appealing to more people. Specifically, you don't need to plan any of the missions before diving right into them, and you also have a very simple means by which you can command your squad. In fact, you have both a context-sensitive menu, which is really easy to use and very effective, and you can also issue voice commands to your team, much like in last year's SOCOM US Navy SEALs for the PS2. Being able to tell your squad things like open flash and clear to break into a room and toss a flash grenade and kill everyone inside who isn't a hostage is pretty cool. You could also tell them to move, and you could always simply say go, go, go to get them to do whatever is most contextually relevant to wherever you're pointing. However, the game's menu system really works better than the voice communication does. You just point and click, and they do whatever it is you tell them to do. So actually, the most interesting use of the Xbox Live headset with Rainbow Six 3 isn't so much that you could issue orders to your squad, but that you can make it so that you hear them only through the Xbox Live earpiece. That really adds to the immersiveness of the game, since all your squad members are wearing these earpieces anyway, and you'll hear their communications as the weapon fire is sort of rattling off through your main speakers. Rainbow Six 3's single-player mode consists primarily of a linear campaign in which you play as Domingo Ding Chavez, who's the best of the best among the elite counterterrorism team known as Rainbow Six. You'll have up to 3 squad members at your side through a series of these international scenarios where you're ordered in to kind of clean up a mess where all other attempts at dealing with these terrorists have failed, and you just get to sweep in, kill everyone with a gun who isn't you, rescue any hostages, defuse any bombs, things like that, things you'd expect out of a Tom Clancy type of property. The missions aren't long per se, but they can take a while because they're quite difficult. What else would you expect? If you don't immediately respond to the enemies, they'll gun you down before you gun them down, and then you'll get to restart from wherever it is you saved last. The game features a limited save system which works very well. You can save your progress at any time, but you only have a few chances to do so within a mission. The enemy AI is pretty good for the most part. They aim properly. Sometimes you'll see them do pretty cool things like fire blindly from behind cover. However, on the other hand, sometimes you'll see them do some pretty goofy things like run headlong into certain death and what have you. The same could be said of your own squad members. Sometimes they'll do very cool things like watch each other's backs and cover positions properly and save your own butt any number of times. But on the other hand, sometimes you'll see them get stuck in doorways or get in each other's way, goofy things like that. And since Rainbow Six 3 is quite a realistic game for the most part, these types of things do stick out. Still, the core action of this game is very solid. The weapon modeling is very, very nice. The game's got a almost ridiculous variety of weapons in it, and you get to use pretty much whichever ones you choose. You're part of Rainbow Six, so you don't just pick up weapons from your enemies, you take whatever it is you need into the mission. In addition to the single-player campaign, there's also a custom mission mode in which any of the missions you've unlocked from the campaign you could play with kind of random enemy placement, whichever weapons you choose, stuff like that. This is good for the single-player version's replay value, and there are also 3 different difficulty settings, though even the easiest one is quite tough. Of course, you'll probably get even more mileage out of the game's online modes. There are 5 different modes of play online. 2 of them are cooperative and 3 of them are competitive. The co-op modes let you either play through the campaign missions or the custom missions with up to 3 others. This is pretty cool, as you might expect. There's no offline split-screen multiplayer mode. That's pretty much dead, it seems, although there is a system link mode if you want to play cooperatively and you have multiple TVs and Xboxes lying around. The competitive modes include sharpshooter, survival, and team survival. The difference is sharpshooter is a straight deathmatch. If you die, you press the A button, you pop back in, whereas sharpshooter, when you die, you stay out for the rest of the round. This means you'll have to be more careful and more patient when playing the survival modes, but these are the more popular ones. They're more similar to the extremely popular game Counter-Strike, and although you don't have any kind of mission objectives other than to kill everyone who's not your ally, this mode is still just a lot of tense and exciting fun that's occasionally interrupted by some fits of lag. The lag seems to happen sporadically. It doesn't seem to matter what Xbox Live is telling you your connection speed is. It doesn't seem to matter necessarily how many players are in the game, so hopefully this is something that'll be ironed out. It's not any kind of crippling problem, but it's worth mentioning. Rainbow Six 3 looks great and sounds even better. The game uses the same engine as Splinter Cell did, and although it doesn't necessarily have quite as dramatic of a look, it does have many of the same really good lighting effects, and in particular the weapon modeling is really nice. As for the sound, you've probably never heard clearer or louder gunfire in a game before, and again, it just adds to the fact that, well, this is a game about guns, so the guns might as well look and sound good and work as you would probably expect them to. Rainbow Six 3 is one of the tensest, most serious shooters on the Xbox yet. So while this isn't the most happy-go-lucky game you're going to come across, it's really one of the most intense as far as shooting action is concerned. So if you're up for a realistic squad-based military shooter, you need look no further.